Alright, now it's time to start degreasing the vehicle. First I'll spray everything down with degreaser. Try and get it saturated, but not too saturated. You don't want to get the control panels to break. I go around with my brush. The top area here you don't really need to focus, but you'll notice here I like to take my time when I'm doing the air vents, move them around, make sure I get every kind of angle I can on them so that way they are clean. I do the same for the center air vents as well. And then just kind of clean up the rest of the vehicle. Touch it when you see some degrease, just kind of touch it around, get it cleaned, work that degreaser into the vehicle, and then you will see me start to dry. Drying's pretty simple, straightforward, just dry every part that you have wet. I'll pull out the tornador for the air vents because it's easy to get in the cracks and crevices with that tornador. It's probably one of our best tools that we have because it allows us to get in those tight spots. So I just degrease the rest of the vehicle, or tornador the rest of the vehicle, to remove any water. And here's a good tip and a spot that's normally missed. Just put your towel through the little gap in the steering wheel, bring it around, and you get that spot all cleaned up. Same thing for the control panel. Just kind of spray it down, use your brush, tornador it out, try and get as much as you can out of those cracks and crevices so that moisture doesn't build up. Onto the cup holders, kind of the same thing, just spray. I'm going to use the steamer on this area just because this is where a lot of most of the grime accumulates from people putting their arms down. You can see that the degreaser is kind of turning a bit brown with the steam. That's because that is the grease getting pooled. So I'll do that here. And after steaming, I'll just dry it up and clean up all the excess degrease that fell everywhere. And then I'll move on to our tights section where we have our cup holders, the steering, the gear shifter, and your e-brake. This you could use the brush like I'm using here. It's pretty simple, just kind of touch everything with the cup holders. I go in and out. And here I switch over to that toothbrush brush. It helps easy getting those little cracks and crevices. As you can see, I'm trying to just focus on the cracks where that grime does build up. And then lastly, just use the tornador again and kind of blow out all the crevices, get it as dry as you can, and remove as much moisture as you possibly can. Like I said earlier, the tornador is one of our most trusted tools. It helps us to get all the cracks and crevices as dry as possible, so that way there's not degreaser just leaking out from all the areas. Alright, time to do underneath where the pedals and kind of the plastic that's underneath. Whenever I do this section, I lay a towel underneath the pedals so that way any dirt and grime that drips off, it doesn't go straight onto the carpet that we just shampooed. Like to spray a pretty nice amount of degreaser in these sections because these are pretty greasy, people's feet touching this area. I'll pull out the steamer. And in this section I'll use the steamer because this is an area where, like I said, a lot of grime and stuff gets built up on these plastics. So just use the steamer, steam it out, and then lastly you'll pull out your tornador and just dry it like you did with the rest of the vehicle.